الله الكبير. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. الله الكبير. By God's grace, we are here again, and we are exercising another chance that God has given us to make ourselves better and get closer to Him. And so this test continues for us, and a lot of lessons that we learn during this life, and we have to steadfastly persevere, and in the face of hardship and all kinds of things that could happen in our lives. So we have to put our trust in God and just go with that attitude, and be happy with the way that God is exercising the care of this universe. And so we have to be happy with that and content. And we have to be grateful for what God has given us. A lot of the stuff that He does, we overlook, but we should remember that everything that we have and all the good things that happen to us is coming from God. And sometimes we think that bad things that happen are bad for us. That's not the case. All of this is because of mercy from God that we overlook sometimes in our lives. So we should be grateful to the source of all of these blessings that we have. And it is a godlike quality to be grateful and to be appreciative. And so God is always appreciative of our deeds and everything that we do in His cause. And so we have to return in kind and be grateful to the source of everything that we have. So today what I wanted to discuss with you, I wanted to go to chapter 6, verse 11, and in that one, God says, say, travel throughout the land and observe the consequence for the rejectors. Say, to whom belongs everything in the vacuum and matter? Say to God, He has decreed mercy unto Himself. He will surely gather you all on the day of resurrection, wherein there is no doubt. Those who have lost their souls will never attain faith. So this is an amazing statement, and we discussed this briefly in one of the Quranic studies. And this is something that God has done, 6:12, that He has. As a matter of fact, the Arabic word is kataba ala nafsihi al-rahmah, which means He has written upon His soul mercy. Okay, and this is amazing. This is part of God's being. Mercy is an integral part of God's being. So we should never forget that. Okay. Some people think that death is something which is bad, but that's not the case. If you think about it, God is telling us that give me your sick, give me your unwanted, give me the one who is hated for one reason or another. Give me the one that you don't want, that you don't like. I'll take him. Okay? That is, if that's not mercy from God, I don't know what is. Give me the one who is in pain. Give me the one who is unhappy. I'll take him. Without any judgment, I'll take him. And that part is the part that God actually released you from the body that is not working anymore. It's a body which is not suitable for you anymore. God releases you from that responsibility. So these are the lessons we should learn at the time of somebody's departure. And that's how we should think. That he is the one who is actually taken, the one who is unwanted. He is the one who takes the voiceless. He is the one that we have no respect for his life or her life. He takes the one who's sick. He's the one who's in pain. He's the one who's tired. He's the one who's bored. He takes them all. So that goes back to this verse, that he has decreed mercy unto himself. Okay? And this book starts with that phrase. In the name of God, the all-gracious, the all-merciful. That's how it starts. All of those things, most beautiful names that he has, he stresses upon these two of his most beautiful names to start this book. Okay. And to him belongs what takes place during the night and the day. And he's the all-hearer, the all-knower. Then God says, here he says in verse 14, say, shall I take an ally other than God, initiator of the vacuum and matter? He who feeds and is not fed, say, I am commanded to be the utmost peace offerer, and do not be amongst those who set up partners for God. How can we set up a partner for him? Okay. He's the one who rescues you from the pain and agony that you have. Okay. The one that terminates your life because of those things. Because the bodies are not suitable anymore. They've done their job. As you get older, those pains and those muscle twinges and those things, they just become more and more frequent. You can't run anymore. You can't climb steps anymore as easily as you did before. You have to be careful. You lose your precision. Okay. Young people, they come down the stairs and they do the double instead of just one step. Take two steps, two steps in a staircase or something. The same thing. When they climb it, they do the same thing. You can't do that anymore. People who get older, they can't do that anymore. As the body is getting older. But that's what he says. He says, give me your old. Give me your sick. Give me the one who's in need. Give me the one who's unwanted. Give me the one who's unloved. Give me the one who's hated. I'll take them all. That goes back to 6:12. That's because he has decreed upon himself, his own soul, the attribute of mercy. Becomes an integral part of God. Can you imagine that? Then that becomes one of his most beautiful names, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. Two of his most beautiful names, and that's how he started this Quran. So when we question these things, as I said, when one of our loved ones dies, or we lose a pet or something, or something happens, we just fall apart. We forget. We forget who is in charge and who's the all merciful. Who is the really loving? Okay, that saved these people from those agonies that they were in. That they were suffering from those agonies that I just repeated over and over again. So that's who God is. And we have to be honored to worship God. That should be an honor for us. Make that a way of your life. That's how you conduct your life, that you worship God alone. And you do not set up partners for Him. See? It says if God touches you with an adversity, no one can relieve it except He. If He touches you with goodness, then He is all powerful over all things. Okay. So we have to be grateful to God. Such is God. And He is supreme over His servants, and He's the all-wise, the cognizant. So God is telling us exactly who He is. So sometimes I said things that look very hopeless. They look, from our point of view, they look bad. They look that something is going against our wishes. But we have to remember that. Remember the fact that God is the one who is supreme. Not us. God is the one who created everything in the first place. And so we have to let Him deal with His creation. And we have to put our trust in Him that when He says He's the all-merciful, we actually believe that. Okay? And no one can relieve it except He. Adversities are relieved only by God. Okay? And the death that people go through in this life, in this worldly life, and to shed this garment, this temporary garment that we are wearing, is called our body. Okay? That's also a mercy from God. It's the one who is stricken with something, and God wants to relieve the adversity from that person. And so He takes you. So again, let's do that. Let's make a promise to ourselves, promise to God. Okay? That we actually hold our responsibility. This end of the covenant that we have with God. That we put our trust in Him. And once we do that, things are going to become easier. That we should trust God when He says something to us. We should truly believe him when he says something to us. Okay? So again, as I said, that mercy that he has decreed upon himself, as is written upon his own soul, that mercy is the one who takes people when they are in pain, when they are not wanted, when they are hated. God still wants them. The one who's been persecuted, the one who's weak, the one who's voiceless. All of those entities that God is taken away, that's mercy from him. I'm going to stop here and we'll finish this rak'ah. Allahul Kabir.